minutes up here. First off, I just want to say that I'm very excited to be here this morning to talk to you. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to thank the SAR Scholarship Committee for selecting me as a recipient last year, and to commend the SAR membership in general for their generosity in funding such a great cause. It meant so much to me to learn that Nick LaPlaca is involved with this committee. I've known Nick since I was about 3 or 4 years old, when I used to wander around the Dunnigan Greenhaven office, where my dad started his real estate career. I remember that I could walk right into Craig Dunnigan's office and there'd always be a piece of candy waiting for me. I know that Nick was really instrumental in helping my dad learn the real estate business. And now, here he is, helping me get off to a good start in college. Coincidentally, I'm attending Nick's alma mater, the University of the Pacific, where he played football. We don't have a football team anymore, but Nick's legend still lives on campus. And I feel like I'm sort of a part of it now. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Scholarship Committee. Thank you all. I just wanted to say a few words about my first year in college, to kind of give you all an update on my progress. I feel like you all have a stake in my college career now, so I'm glad to have the opportunity to tell you all about my freshman year. First of all, when it came to packing and leaving home, it wasn't as easy to do as I thought it would be. A couple of days before I left, really started to hit me that I wouldn't be living in my own room anymore with all my stuff, my dog, my little sister, and of course my parents. I was still excited, but that realization sort of tempered my exhilaration. Still, no matter how hard it was on me, I knew it was going to be 1,000 times harder on my dad. We've basically been best friends since the time I was born. We did everything together for 18 years, and now his best friend was leaving. That goodbye between me and my parents on the day I moved was the hardest goodbye I've ever had to make in my life. I had parties to go to and new people to meet and a whole campus to explore. Whatever I wanted to eat, wherever I wanted to go, whatever I wanted to do. And I know my mom would appreciate me saying this, but there were so many girls on campus. So anyway, I had all that to occupy myself, but they just had a long ride home. My roommate, Andrew, from Pleasanton, was a total slob. And I'm not a particularly neat guy myself, but he took it to a whole other level. Like leftover food and mold crusted under his bed and the wall disgusting. I've been in some of those listings with my dad where the people abandon their homes and trash it on their way out. Andrew's side of the dorm made those homes look like Martha Stewart's house. On Parents' Day in October, I told him that my parents were coming, and he got uncharacteristically industrious. And he cleaned up his side of the room. It took him all night Friday and some of Saturday morning. But when my mom showed up, she took one look at his side of the room and almost started dry heaving. She couldn't believe that's what his side looked like after cleaning. I also had some modest accomplishments this year that meant a lot to me. I made the men's soccer team in the fall and had a great time playing, even though our record wasn't quite as distinguished as I would have liked it to be. I had my best game against UC Davis. I got injured, actually got a bruised cartilage underneath my kneecap. But I still stayed in the game and almost made the game-winning goal. But it was soccer and not horseshoes, so we didn't win. I started writing for the school newspaper, the Pacifican, and in the spring semester, I was named sports editor. I got to interview Gino Auriemma, coach of the University of Connecticut women's basketball team, when the Huskies came to town and, for lack of a better term, demolished our women's basketball team. It wasn't pretty. Our editors submitted a couple of my articles for a national award, including a book review that I had done. It didn't win, but like they said, it's just nice to be nominated. I'm a communication and sports management major, and next year I'm going to be involved with the broadcast of our home basketball and baseball games. So I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see, what else? Oh, I met a girl. You all know where this is going already. There was this really pretty girl from one of my classes, and we had sort of exchanged remarks and glances in class. One day, I saw her sitting alone in a restaurant on campus. And I've never been much of a ladies' man myself. But I worked up the nerve to go over there and say hi, and strike up a conversation. When the conversation stalled, I was just kind of sitting there with my tray, and asked if I could sit down and eat with her. She said yes, and we ended up going to a party together that night. And she's been my girlfriend ever since. It's 8 months as of last weekend. Okay, what can I say? I don't mess around. Unfortunately, my first class on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays was an 8 a.m. class that took place in a building about 50 feet from my dorm room. For the first time in my life, there was no one to tell me what time to go to bed, and I would stay up until all hours in the morning, particularly after I got a girlfriend. Don't tell my mom. And then I would just roll out of bed and basically stumble to class in my sweats. This was a terrible habit that I'm trying to break now. Or, more accurately, this is a habit that my dad thinks is terrible and is trying hard to break me up right now. I guess that's alright. My girlfriend lives in Turlock, so there's really no one to stay up with anymore. Before I close, I wanted to say that I've used my scholarship money to purchase my textbooks for the year. Just for freshman year. I never thought in my life that I would ever read a book that cost $300 or $179, but they're out there and the professors assigned them. But that's okay, because at the end of the year, you can return them back for a generous price of $20. That's a cell phone ringing during speech money. This has made me want to change my major to business and open up a textbook company. Seriously though, I have decided to study for my California real estate salesperson's license. Okay. I figured it might be fun to work with the old man during my summers off. I still intend to follow my own career path in communication and sports management, but until that time comes, I figure it will be a way to keep the best friends together for as long as possible. And I look forward to getting to know some of you better as I attempt to sell more homes each summer than my dad does each year. So congratulations to this year's recipients of the SAR Scholarship, and thank you all for your time and generosity.
Thanks, Ruben. That was absolutely terrific. Now I'd like to introduce Kula Janudis, who's with KOVR TV, and she's going to help us pass out the scholarships and all.